Hi, everyone. So, just a few thoughts in this live. And if there are some questions or comments, just let me know and type them in. Um, I'm stunned by the speed at which, the quality of our institutions are losing steam. The civility of the discourse is basically going down, and you might ask yourselves, why in the world is he waking up like right now? This summer was quite a striking experience for me at a few levels. The first one in the United States, something not gathering enough attention, is the whole fight of Donald Trump against the Federal Reserve. What I find incredible is that this is a topic that is a little bit too technical to actually reach, the headlines, because people don't understand what central bank independence means. They don't understand how important it is for an institution like the central bank to be able to fight inflation and be isolated from political influence and political interference. That this is a mission that is incredibly important to maintain, your own independence in doing so, and that if financial markets feel there is a hint of political interference, they will basically not believe anything that the Fed says and will probably grant very little credibility to the Fed. The quality of your institutions depends on how credible they are. This is a very slow motion issue that is changing, I think the face of the United States. That for me is a revealing topic. So for all of the spectacular words coming out of Donald Trump's mouths, I think this one may actually be the one getting the least attention right now, even if it has gotten some recent attention. So that to me is a major game changer, one that I've written and that I pointed to in the past, but now it's actually materializing before our very eyes. The second example of me turning a little bit pessimistic is obviously the political crisis in France and the implications it may have for the rest of Europe. This is not a new thing, obviously. I mean, France has experienced quite a few political crises for a little while now. This one is a game changer because it feels like the Prime Minister of France is basically doing a Hail Mary, as I suggested earlier this week. One final attempt, to send a message out. There was a very, very clear moment in the interview he gave this week to French television, quoting the comfort of boomers, saying we can't do stuff in the name of the comfort of boomers anymore. This is not something politically you would say if you think you actually have a future. He probably believes, and rightfully so, that he does not have a future. So this makes me think, it may actually get worse before it gets better. And I think this is probably going to be something to watch for going down the line. So yes, I mean, it's not time anymore to talk about how political risk may or may not materialize. To me, the real question is, how is political risk materializing now and what do you do about it? Anyone looking for visibility going down the line, anyone hoping for any form of reassurance is going to be in trouble. And this is the world we're going to have to live with, I think, for the foreseeable future. I think it may be time to reread, if you haven't already, Darren Acemoglu. It's very telling the way he has approached it, earned him a well-deserved Nobel Prize in terms of the quality of the institutions and how they deteriorate and how we could collectively fail as a result. One very striking contrast, and I'll end here and take any of the questions that you may have, but one very, very striking contrast I find is between the United States and Europe. This all started a little while ago. Let's give it, for the sake of argument, one starting point in the beginning of the 2010s. This is more or less about the time S&P, Standard & Poor's, the rating agency, downgrades the U.S. Rating. saying, economic fundamentals are going to be just fine, but we worry about the quality of this political system and about the willingness of this political system to actually pay back the debt. So basically, the diagnosis at the time was to say economic fundamentals, US economic fundamentals, just fine. Political system is clunky and we worry about it. In Europe, more or less about that time again, is the beginning of the Euro crisis, right? And it is very telling that most people are stunned to say, yes, economic fundamentals are difficult in Europe. The euro is a complex invention that really we don't know whether it will sustain, global economic forces. But oh my God, the political will behind it. How strong is that? That's the cement bringing everyone together. It's a contrast. Economics in the US is just fine, politics so so. European economics so so, but the political will behind it was quite significant. If only the Europeans could muster the political will again and to, resuscitate that spirit of the 2010s to basically make it back to a level where there's that political leadership that believes in the cement, the historical cement, the identity cement that made Europe, the European project, what it is today. I think Europe can actually be far more powerful than what headlines suggest. But right now, this is kind of missing. So that's going to be kind of the open question going up down the line. Anyway, um, pessimistic for now. Not forever, but for now. I'll take any questions that you may have, ladies and gentlemen. Um, just wanted to do this quick update. I understand people prefer sometimes to listen rather than to read. Ironically enough, I prefer to write than to speak, but that's another mismatch, right? In any case, I will share this short recording. If there are any thoughts, any questions, any comments you'd like to share, and otherwise, you know, let's keep in touch to re-become collectively optimistic. All right, guys, keep in touch, everyone.